This podcast may contain strong language and spoilers. Some of the movies recommended and discussed are not suitable for all ages. Listener discretion is advised.
Tiptoe by the window, that is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Oh!
We're just off to a terrible start. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
All right. Take two, everybody.
Welcome back.
Hello. Grayson, get off the counter.
Once again, we go, oh dear. Grayson, why are you like this?
He's just, I don't know. He's exploring every area of the house for whatever reason. But,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, you're just like, where am I? What is this?
Shut up. Oh my god. I'm so mad at him tonight. Like, he just chose the opportune moment to just freak out. Like, I don't know if he had some bad drugs or if he's just,
Oh no.
God. Disclaimer, we don't actually give the cats any drugs, I swear. We're good parents.
It's just the children that are naughty.
Honestly. Alright. I think he's good. I feel like I'm gonna have to get up and see if he's on the stove or not. Cause like I can't see him. I don't know where he is in the kitchen. Alright. Jhenee, say hi to the people. Introduce yourself.
Hello to the people.
Oh
My last week is
why are
you
you
guys.
here?
Oh my god.
Alright. He's on top of the shelf. He's on top of the shelf above the fridge, so I can't get to him. So he's just gonna stay up
Oh my
there.
god.
I'm officially furious with him. He chose the worst possible moment to decide to misbehave.
Oh my god.
I really hope I didn't wake Olivia
dog.
either. Alright. Hi, everybody.
Jesus.
Oh, it's
We gotta make
me.
it extra spicy this week.
Oh, this episode is definitely extra spicy this week. Featuring my spicy boy. God.
The spiciest boy.
Alright. He can just stay up there. I don't care.
He can stay in his kingdom of isolation.
Honestly,
Being a naughty boy.
that would be ideal if he just stayed in his kingdom of isolation. But unfortunately. Alright. So, yeah, Jhenee introduced herself. So, she's here today.
Jenny!
Is Jhenee. Sadly, Olivia could not join us once again. It's funny actually. Like when we did the like introductory episode where it was like the three of us introducing, what the horror movie month was going to be. Right after that, we recorded the episode with her. That was last week's episode, and so that's like the only episode she's in for the month. Which is honestly, it's kind of funny, especially,
She's more into spooky movies. I was going to say sporty. She's more into spooky movies than I am.
Yeah, and like, she was always going on about how the horror genre was like her favorite or whatever. So it's kind of funny that she, God, he's doing something now, but I'm going to ignore him and maybe he'll stop.
He wants the attention.
He's like, I don't know, he's like digging at the wall. When cats do that thing where they paw at the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. On top of the shelf above the fridge. So,
Oh my god.
he could be doing it to the ceiling for all I know. Alright, so, it's our last horror movie episode. I'm a little sad. This was so fun.
It was.
Talk about all the
I feel like
spooky movies.
It was a good start.
Yeah, it was.
Getting all spooky.
And now it's like, oh my god, what are we gonna do next week? I have a few ideas, but we'll figure it out. Plus, like, the Thor movie's coming out soon, and I know you'll go see that. So, like, yeah.
Yes.
I'll do a quick review on it, and then I'll probably do a threesome episode with us so that we can kind of talk about it. And then kind of, you know, maybe talk about the Marvel movies in general. I'll say I don't think we'll have any, like, big episodes planned until probably December, when we'll do, like, a bunch of Christmas movies. And then, like, yeah, December's also when Star Wars comes out, so... I'm already anxious. Because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I don't know. We'll see. Like, I have no idea what the big secret is, or, like, what the big reveal or whatever is, and, like, God. The trailer already made me so anxious and emotional. I don't know what to do.
This entire movie is just going to lay you out the entire time.
I mean, they usually do. Like, Star Wars in general just does. Even going back and watching, like, the original ones. Yeah. Leave me alone. All right, so...
We know what you are, Mother. It's okay.
Rude.
But that's why we love you.
Gay. All right. All right. I think he's on the floor now, so I think we're okay. My cat emergency is officially over. This week, we're doing, like, it's sad, we're doing, like, the best episode, too, and Olivia can't be here. But, yeah, this week we're doing, like, the classic sort of, you know, the haunted house and ghost type movies. That just, yeah, the really spooky ones. Like, these are ones that, like, spooky. Yeah, there's a lot of them that are just really unnerving and stuff. And, like, a ton of movies, like, fit into this category. Because it's, like, really it feels like the horror genre is kind of broken up into two, like, main sort of subsections, where it's, like, the slasher sort of, you know, torture porn kind of movies, and then, like, the, like, haunted house ghost type movies.
Like, yeah, like, supernatural kind of deal.
Yeah. I also kind of threw in the found footage movies in this one, too, because there's a bunch of those in this little, you know, subgenre. So we'll talk about those as well. I know, your favorites included in that. I don't even know where to begin. We have so much good stuff to talk about this time. You know, I guess I'll kind of talk about, you know, the found footage movies, because, like I said, it's a popular way to, like, have these sort of, ghost type haunted house movies, especially now after, like, really, I think Blair Witch sort of kickstarted that, but Paranormal Activity definitely opened the door for, like, that sort of, like, actual haunted house footage kind of thing. Which found footage movies, they're movies that use a point of view from a handheld or digital video camera. So instead of, like, you, like, feel like you're, you know, watching an actual cinema movie, it's more like watching, like, a home movie, like a homemade, like, yeah.
Yeah, it could be like, it feels like you're just watching, like, a friend's, like, home movie or something.
Yeah.
It feels a little more personal.
Yeah, definitely. It does give a more personal touch to things. I think the earliest found footage movie was Cannibal Holocaust. It was in 1980. That's an Italian movie. I don't really recommend watching it. I mean, look it up first, at least. It was one that had a lot of controversy behind it, because I think one of the things with it is that a lot of people for a long time believed it was a snuff film that sort of made its way into cinema, but I'm pretty sure those got discredited, that nobody actually died during the movie or anything. Really, yeah, Blair Witch Project is what opened the door to these horror movies that have been, you know, the sort of found footage films.
Yeah.
Which, that's one of my favorites. And it's definitely gotten a cult following, because it's funny hearing, like, the stories from, like, my parents, or I think specifically my uncle, talking about going to see this movie, and then, like, the ending just sort of, like, threw them off, Because that was one of the big things when it first came out, the Blair Witch, was that, because it sort of ended abruptly. Like, it built, all the way up to that sort of, really iconic ending now, and then it just, like, shuts off, I could understand being mad, because it was definitely different for moviegoers at the time.
Yeah, like we're used to getting, like, a more conclusive ending.
Yeah.
Or having, like, your questions, questions answered.
Yeah. Well, that's really how movies have evolved now, is that you get a lot of movies now that are more almost like artistic in a way, where they leave a lot of open-ended things about the film itself. As long as you do that well, like, it's effective. I'm sure, there are plenty of movies that, like, they leave a bunch of open-ended stuff at the end, but it's one of those movies that they shouldn't have done that. I mean, you liked Blair Witch Project when we watched it, because that was, Although your favorites are the Paranormal Activity ones, and this sort of found footage.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's the first one I saw, I think, And so it just kind of, like, it blew my mind, because that's, like, around the time when I was looking for, like, I realized that, like, pretty much most, like, scary movies didn't actually scare me, and then this whole new thing about, like, it's not, like, professionally shot, it's just, like, done from, like a home video camera.
Right.
And, like, the whole, the whole candidness, like, it fucking spooked me, man.
And it is, and I think really this became a huge popular series because you had a lot of those shows on TV, like Ghost Adventures and stuff like that, where people go around with the cameras. Luke, stop it. Where people go around with the cameras and, are exploring haunted houses and stuff. And really, I think these movies made those shows more popular. That's why there's, like, so many of them now. I've actually seen all 3 Paranormal Activities. Like, I didn't delve into any of the, the ones that weren't about the original family.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen the 3. I forget where I watched them. And in all honesty, I think I put them on as background noise because it was like, I haven't seen this, so might as well watch it.
Yeah.
Because in all honesty, I can't remember what happens. I mean, like, I know the story, but, like, I can't remember ever actually being, like, startled or, like, some movies do get me. Like, they'll be, like, where they kind of, do this sort of jump scare that gets me, but this one really didn't. Which I don't mean to make you feel bad, because I know the second one still freaks you out.
It's like there's just that one in the middle, and then, like, near the end, and then the dog. But God, if all my friends were like, "Oh, hey, Jhenee, that house kind of looks like your house, don't you think?" And now I'm just like, "Stop! What is that? What if she, like, appears behind me when I'm sitting on the couch watching TV?"
All right, I'll level the playing field here. I do have one scene that I can remember. It's in the 3rd one when they're, like, the little girls. When they had the camera that, like, they set it up on the old fan, and they had it swiveling. There was, like, that one scene where, like, you can see the thing on the sheet, and it's, like, getting closer and closer to. I think someone was in the kitchen.
Oh my God!
And then, like, they turn around and the sheet just, like, falls. That's, like, that is my one scene that, like, I remember, and it really freaked me out. Which is funny because, like, watching, like, cartoons or, like, Scooby-Doo or something like that, that's what they use, like, the ghost in the sheet. But then, like, when they use it effectively, it's like, why?
Yeah.
This isn't supposed to be scary.
No.
This other found footage that I wanted to talk about is one that, it's actually also a zombie movie, I'm pretty sure. And the original is called Rec, like record, but it's REC. And it's in Spanish. And it actually does have an American remake called Quarantine. And it's actually really good. I watched the remake. I haven't seen the original. But from what I've heard, they actually do, like, it's almost kind of like a shot-by-shot remake. And they do it really well. And it is, like, really, really creepy. Because it's basically, like, this, like, amateur news crew. They go with a rescue squad that gets called in to an apartment building. And because one of the tenants has, like, attacked another person. So they're going to respond to it. And they need, like, medical attention and stuff. And it's basically, like, a zombie outbreak that happens within the apartment building. And the name comes in because they get quarantined in there. Like, they're not allowed to let anybody out. So they have to, like, the power gets shut off and all this other crazy shit. It's like...
Oh. I feel like I've seen the remake as well. I've heard a lot about both of them and that they're both really good. But yeah, I've only seen the originals, or the remake as well.
Which really, like, that also has another one that has a very iconic ending scene. Because it's the girl when she's crawling towards the camera and she's looking into it.
Yeah.
And then she's suddenly yanked back. Yeah. Really, the whole movie is nerve-wracking. It is a really good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one I do remember really vividly. But yeah, that one's definitely unique because it's, you know, instead of taking the sort of haunted house approach or like the, like Blair Witch where it's dealing with a ghost, they are dealing with, I think it was like a zombie outbreak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They, like, thinking about it, they kind of remind me of, like, not entirely zombies, but, like, maybe the infected people on I Am Legend almost.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a lot what they were. I was trying to think if there was, like, another one. Because they reminded me of something else as well. But I can't remember for the life of me. Oh, they almost kind of reminded me of the ones from 28 Days Later. I don't know if you saw that one. Yes, no? Maybe so.
Not for a long time, no.
Okay. That's also another good one, if you're into the zombie movies. And of course, Zombieland. That's a classic. It's officially a classic. It's not even that old, but it's officially a classic. Actually, I think Zombieland was my first rated R movie in theaters. Me and my dad went to see it. Yeah. Moving on. Because we're not here to talk about zombies, sadly. I forgot that we were supposed to talk about zombies a little more our last episode with you. Because they're sort of in that sort of the monster movies. But and also because Walking Dead started up again, so. But yeah, Jenny watches Walking Dead. I really don't watch TV. I have like a few shows, like a few select things that I have saved that I watch whenever they update. But now we're moving on to the nitty gritty, all the haunted house and ghost type movies, all the haunting films. That's sort of what they are. God, there's so many of them. It's almost like, it's kind of like, where do you start? Like, actually, I'll start with the oldest one on my haunted house list. Because I actually, this is on Netflix, by the way, and it was pretty good. It's a British movie. I say it's on Netflix. I'm saying that both to you guys and to Jenny, because Netflix is easiest for her to watch things.
Sure.
But it's called The Legend of Hell House. It's one of those that, like, it's based off a book, and it was made in like the 70s, so it's kind of campy, but they do a good job with it, and it's almost sort of like you don't really see, the ending coming or anything. Ooh, hi Grayson. But I liked it. It was unique. It's one I've had on my list because, like, I heard the book was good, so I have the book on my list, and then I have the movie on my list. But I liked it. It's basically about like this legendary haunted house, and like a medium, and I forget what the dude was. He was some kind of scientist, and then like this guy that already survived going in and investigating the house. They all go in and they're trying to find the source of like the haunting, and they're trying to cleanse the house basically.
Oh.
But it's like a house that's legendary for like anybody who goes into it. Usually they die. They don't like last throughout the night or like throughout the week.
And they're trying to figure out like why it's haunted.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out the source of the haunting, and they're trying to cleanse it. I think Olivia liked it. It was one of those that like she was there, but she, most movies she's on her phone for, so it's like I don't know if she enjoys them or not. That was a movie I think. Yeah, that was the movie I was watching while I was making spaghetti.
Oh.
So I was only like, to be fair, I was only halfway in it as well, but I pay more attention than she does. Here, get in your chair, baby. You'll stop being a nuisance if you get in there. Good boy. But, yeah. So, no. Oh my god. I said the chair, not the table.
God.
Grayson's back.
Back again.
I always think, whenever I say that, I always think of the, I don't know why, the Old Spice commercial with Terry Crews, where it's like the Old Spice guy, and he goes, "It's you," and Terry Crews is like, "It's me." And he wiggles. That's my relationship with Grayson. Grayson and I are in an Old Spice commercial.
You heard it here first, folks.
God, there's so many. Like, there's so many haunted house movies. All right, Amityville Horror, because that's a classic. That's one that like everybody's at least heard of, because it's not only like a classic movie, but it's you hear it in books. If you've seen The Conjuring, you know about that through The Conjuring, because it's the same investigative team, Lorraine and what's his name, sorry.
What's his name, like Ed or something?
Yeah, that's it.
Sorry.
I don't mean to be mean. Like, I remember her like right off the bat.
We still have very good memories, guys.
Like, I don't have anything against him. I remember her name easily. But yeah, Amityville Horror. Because that was also a movie that was made in the 70s, late 70s. It was almost like in an 80s movie. But the original was made in 1979. Sadly, I have not seen the original, actually. I only saw the remake with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh my god.
This is also one that don't remake this movie. Like, just stop. Just leave it alone. It's one of those that, like, the original wasn't even that good to begin with. So for whatever reason, they just keep adding on to it. And I don't know. It's almost kind of like Friday the 13th. Like, even Friday the 13th, like, it's campy and it's fun, but it's not even a good movie. They just keep adding on to it because people keep going to see it. I'm trying to think what our modern day version of that is. Probably the Ice Age movies.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Anyway.
I was gonna say Saw, but that's not really like a remake, is it? They just keep making more.
Yeah. And Saw, like, the first few were actually good, from what I've heard, but, like, yeah. Anyway. Amityville Horror.
It's time to stop.
Oh, no, Luke, you can't have it. Alright. I don't even know if you can hear that. The little bell jingling.
No.
No.
I just
Okay.
hear you.
Alright, I'm not gonna worry about it too much then. But, yeah, so the Amityville Horror is, that's the one where, like, I think the original story, like, they sort of did it weird, too. They, like, did the original story where it was, like, about, the brother who, he killed his whole family, and, then, like, the family moved into the house, and they were affected by the haunting. And it's, yeah, the real story does have a lot of speculation, because you get a lot of people who come in, a lot of mediums especially, who have gone into the house and they've either debunked it, or, you know, they say that it's, you know, it's a true haunting. It goes back and forth, and people keep changing their opinions on it as well. And then you have the guy who's in jail for, you know, murdering his family, who he keeps changing his story. So you really don't know, like, what actually happened. If it's, like, a true haunting or not, or if, you know, he just did this for whatever, for some kind of fame and fortune, or, I mean, not fortune, because he's in jail, so he doesn't have any money, but, you know, for what it is, though, like, the original movie, it does have some good effects in it, like, from what I've seen, but, yeah, the remake is shit. Like, I like Ryan Reynolds, you know, for the most part, for Deadpool, to be honest. I don't think I've seen any other Ryan Reynolds movies. God save any of you who went to see Green Lantern.
Oh my god.
But, God, the remake is, like, it's weird, too, because Ryan Reynolds is just, like, it draws away from the fact that, like, he's being possessed or whatever, because he's so hot, and, like, they have shots of him without his shirt on, and he has, like, this six-pack, and you're just like, Ryan Reynolds. You're not, like, focusing on the fact that people are dying. You're just like, yeah.
Relatable, honestly.
Oh, shit, is that what Rowan's gonna be? Jesus.
Oh, no.
Alright, I'll work on it. Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Beauty, Audrey.
We'll talk about it later. Alright, so...
You will be a beautiful, possessed boy, Audrey.
Shush! We'll talk about it later. Nobody's ready. Alright. Amityville Horror did, you know... Yeah, it is Ed and Lorraine. You're right, his name is Ed. I feel really bad that I forgot his name. But, it's Ed and Lorraine, and they opened the door, you know... They did, like, they went and investigated Amityville Horror House, and then, I don't know where, you know, it resurfaced that they just wanted to do another story of theirs, but they did, you know, The Conjuring, which I'm sure I've said multiple times now how much I love The Conjuring movie, because it is, you know, they do things in The Conjuring movie, the original, the first one, really well, and it is, you know, it's full of some good spooks. Yeah, and it's one of those that, like, there are scenes in The Conjuring that I actually can't look at because it'll, like, it burns into my head and, like, I'll keep thinking about it.
Oh.
Just, I think, specifically... Of course, I'm gonna slur my words, like, right now. Just specifically... how they did, the ghost's makeup and stuff, because she's really freaky to look at. Geez, the nun is still worse, but yeah. I hate the nun.
God. It has those, like, piercing eyes.
Stop, you'll bring the image into my head. I can't have that tonight. It's late here. It's always later for me here. Like, I'll go to bed in a few hours. You'll still be awake. You won't have to be tormented. Luke, no, you can't have the ball. It's too noisy. God, the cats are just... Everything's tormenting me. Why?
The cat.
Wilbur's my only good time pal. Like, he's so quiet. He just sits there. Thank you, Wilbur. He doesn't say anything, sadly. My dad wants me to get him, like, My dad wants me to get him a thing where, like, I'll have, like, a recording already preset and he'll just say stuff. But that's, like, that's way down the line. Alright, The Conjuring. Because that's when they do really well. And it's when, actually, it's one that I'll talk about in our next little section, just a little bit. Just a little ways. Y'all can wait. We're going to dive into some other different movies.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, I'm pretty sure this is one you've seen. The Shining. You gotta answer me.
I'd like to say I have at some point, probably on TV. I'm going to say yeah for my own posterity. I know I've seen like the iconic scenes, but as it's one of those movies that I watched once, I believe, and I don't think I've gotten the opportunity to see again.
I mean, to be fair, I know that you've seen the iconic scene, like the Here's Johnny, because of that thing that I keep sending you. But, alright, I don't know what they're doing now, but I'm just ignoring it. They're in the bathroom. They keep moving rooms and, like, completely tearing them apart. I don't know why.
Oh my god.
It's a small apartment, you guys. But, alright, so The Shining. Shit, now I keep thinking about that thing that I keep sending you. The Here's Johnny. I can't share on the air. Sorry, you guys. You'll just have to be held in suspense. I can't drag Jhenee like that. She'll never forgive me.
God.
But yeah, The Shining, it's a Stephen King one. And it's a Stanley Kubrick film, so, you know, like, what else can I say? And Jack Nicholson's in it. Well, it's like, you know, that's like the open door for an excellent movie. God, another book that I have to get through. It's like I have all these books stacked up, like, on my bookshelf. I just haven't read them. I'm still trying to get through it.
Although, to be fair, that is a long-ass book, isn't it?
It is. I could kill a man with the It book. The hardcover, not the flimsy little soft cover that I have. The Shining, that's definitely a little different because it's, you know, it's a hotel. And he wrote that based off real experiences of a hotel that he stayed at in Colorado. I can't remember the name of the original hotel. I know the one in the book is the Overlook Hotel. But that's a unique one because it's also an ending that, kind of like the Blair Witch, where it leaves some sort of open-ended questions. Because the ending for the Shining movie, you're kind of sitting there like, wait, what does that mean? You know what I'm talking about, right? Because they zoom in on the picture of him, like, from, like, way years before, and you're just kind of like, okay, so how is he there if he, you know, if he's here?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one that, like, I wasn't sure what they were hinting at, if he was, like, a ghost, or, like, I don't know. But, that's one that I actually, like, I'll just turn on for background noise, because I like that movie so much. It's one that I won't get tired of. It's, you know, just scenes itself, like, in the movie, like, it's extremely iconic. Like, if you've watched, you know, if you guys watch, like, really any television, like, there's a bunch of scenes that, like the twins and, like, the Here's Johnny, that really all those scenes are hinted at in a lot of TV shows, especially the more adult animated shows. The Simpsons specifically, I think, has a lot of scenes that they do from that. And I know Family Guy has as well, but I don't I don't like talking about Family Guy unless I have to. But it gosh, I don't know what else to say. That is, I will say, my little fun fact for the Shining movie, that's one that I believe Stephen King doesn't like the movie.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is,
Why?
I actually don't know. I'll have to read into that. But yeah, he doesn't like Stanley Kubrick's adaptation of it. Actually, I have a lot of little Shining fun facts. The little kid in the movie didn't know it was a horror movie until his friends made him watch it, like, years later.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Which I think that's very clever, that they were able to hide it from him, that it was a scary movie, but still able to get the reactions out of him that they wanted to. Because he was really little, like, when they shot the movie.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think the character itself is, like, 5 or 6. So he was, like, actually, I think he was, like, either 5 or 6 when he was doing the movie. So it's impressive that, you know, he was able to... Because I think, like, with horror movies, like, if you're doing that as a kid and, like, you know that it's, like, meant to be scary, like, that'll probably add, you know, some deep traumas in there.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, just my shining fun facts. Shit, I had another one. Oh, this one's not as fun, but, I forget her name. The lady who played the wife, in the movie, she came out and talked about how she really hated working with Stanley Kubrick because he was such a perfectionist, which I've heard this before, that, he really, like, the scene had to go the way he wanted or they wouldn't, like, end the shoot for the day. So it would be that, like, the actors would be just, like, physically exhausted, but they're still shooting because, like, one thing was out of place or, like, one facial expression wasn't the way it was supposed to be. Like, he was, like, super OCD about that kind of stuff.
It probably drove her crazy.
Yeah. Which I could see that. Which, you know, it kind of begs to wonder about, you know, how many directors are like that, working with them. All right, moving on. That was The Shining and all my Shining fun facts. Oh, this is one that I like. It's a unique one. It's called The Others. And it's definitely a very classic ghost movie. It's Nicole Kidman. And it's set during World War II era. And they live, like, this huge manor, like, out on, like, the moors and stuff, like, in Britain. And it's this woman who, her husband's at war, and she has 2 young children. And her children are sensitive to light. They can't go into the sun at all. So, like, the whole house, like, all the shutters and the curtains have to be shut. Like, the whole house just has to remain dark. And they can have, like, a candle lit in, like, one room. But for the most part, it's just, like, a dark house. And basically you're going through, and this woman starts to think that her house is haunted. It actually has a pretty good, in my opinion, it's a pretty good twist ending. Because it builds up to one twist, but then it takes it a whole different direction. So that's one I definitely recommend. It's not exactly scary. It's more of, kind of an artistic sort of ghost movie, I think. So you'd probably like that one. Because it's more of a dramatic movie than anything. But it's still kind of Halloween-y. It's a ghost movie. Pretty sure it's still in the horror section in FYE, so, you know, might as well. But, alright, so now we're going to talk about, I think, my 2 favorites on the list, other than The Conjuring, because these were the 2 by Guillermo del Toro. The first one's called The Orphanage, and that's one that actually was in Spanish with English subtitles. Jenny's not saying anything, so I'm assuming she hasn't seen it. It's this woman who, she grew up in an orphanage, and she actually goes, and when she's an adult, she buys the old orphanage she used to live in, which this kind of orphanage, it's not probably how you're picturing. It's like, sort of like a manor house, and like there would be like 6 to 8 children in the house. It wouldn't be like rooms filled with children. It wasn't like, it wasn't one of those. It was like a really small kind of orphanage. And she buys a house, and she's a mother now. She has a son, and like she's married to her husband. And her son is sick. I think he has HIV. And they buy the house, and they're getting it set up because they want to take in children to care for themselves. They want to take in special needs children, and they're getting all that set up. And then her son, he's like 6 or 7. He makes a new friend that he tells his mom about. And she starts to think that her son's friend is a ghost. And the son actually disappears. So she's trying to figure out what happened to him and like what the story is, because like she uncovers like a mystery of like stuff that happened to her friends after she was adopted and left the orphanage. So it's a cool movie. I really like it. I mean, like, all Guillermo del Toro's movies, though, like, I really enjoy. So it's, you know, it's not fair for me to just be like, yeah, it's a great movie, because it already is a good movie. I think Crimson Peak's my favorite out of the two, though. So it was such a good movie. That was one that you did see. I know you saw, because of Tom.
Oh, that T-Hitty. He was such a match made in heaven. That man.
Jenny's a nerd.
Jenny's a thirsty nerd.
And then the Thor movie's coming out too. I'm so excited. But yeah, Crimson Peak. Oh my gosh, it was like such an aesthetic movie too. Like, it was so good.
Right? It was so pretty.
And I'm really not into the Victorian aesthetic. Like, I sometimes am, but I don't know. It's not one that, like, I have an interest in. I think because of vampires, and that sort of ruined it for me. But, yeah, it was such a gorgeous movie. Like, the colors that they used, and then, like, God, the little love story in it, and just, it was so cute, and then it was so sad, it was spooky.
Right.
It has so much of everything. It's a good movie. And then, yeah, if you're into the Marvel movies and you like Tom Hiddleston, he has a starring role in that one. I think that's all the ghosty movies, all the haunted house ones. We're going to move into kind of a little side topic with these, because with ghosts, you get a lot of possessions going on. Especially because most of these ghosts end up being, sort of bad. They're bad ghosties.
Very malevolent, mean ghosties.
And like, if you're interested, if any of you like watch those sort of the Ghost Adventure shows or like any kind of paranormal shows, you definitely know the difference between some ghosts. Or like some of them are like, they're more like poltergeists, where they're just sort of playful, or they're just kind of spiteful in a way. Not exactly dangerous, but I mean, the ones typically that are, dangerous are the ones that like, they project themselves as ghosts, but they're not actually ghosts. They're typically, they explain them as the demons and stuff. Yeah. Which really, that's what a lot of this ends up being. And actually really like, James Wan is behind most of these movies. So yeah, The Conjuring, of course. I added in the first 2 Insidious movies, because the third one, like the first 2, they actually have possessions in them, and that's what they sort of revolve around. The third one, like, definitely strayed from that. I know there's a fourth. I think there's a fourth one coming out. That's the one coming out, right? The fourth one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it hasn't come out yet, then I remember seeing a trailer about it, and it actually quite unnerved me. I don't think I've seen the third one, but it was quite unnerving.
Yeah, because I think, Olivia and I went to see the third one, and I know because you were interested in it, and I told you not to go see it because it was really bad. Excuse me. Because it was really bad.
The third one?
Yeah.
Oh my.
I told you this.
That's so. I'm remembering that now, but now I'm just like that's a little disappointing because I remember like really enjoying the second one.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if I told you, like, but when we went to see the second one in theaters, we had never seen the first one.
That's how it usually goes for you, though. I'm really not surprised.
Yeah, for some reason, with like majority of my like horror movie experiences and movies in general, I remember playing the second in space where I played the first one. I felt the second Insidious was like, this seems like not the first movie in the series, but fuck it, we're gonna go see it anyway.
Jeez, and the second Insidious takes place like right after the first one too. So
yeah.
God, I don't know how confused you must have been, but
I was like, and he's suddenly like in a room with a bunch of people, and now he's in like the fucking afterlife, purgatory, wherever he is. I don't know what's going on.
Oh God.
And I do remember in that room, I think it was the dad with the son. The one scene that stuck with me is when I believe it was the dad with the son. They're like in that room with all those like, it was a bunch of people or like statues or something. Or like a bunch of ghosts.
Alright, to be fair, that happens in the first one too. And I haven't seen the second one, so I don't know if that's also in the second one. But I know that's in the first one.
You've seen the first one and the third one.
Alright, hey. To be fair, the third one is like a prequel, and it's of that lady who, like, I don't even know if she's in the second one, but she's in the trailer for the fourth one, the old lady.
She's in the second. Yeah, she's in the second one.
I'll say, I don't know how long she's in that one, because, like, the first one she died, so, you know. I'm not saying spoilers, like, if you guys are into horror movies, Insidious is, like, God, y'all should have seen that by now. Because that was one that got really amped up, like, everyone was excited for it, and it was more cheesy than anything, the first one especially. I've heard the second one is, like, a lot spookier. But yeah, I haven't seen the second one. And don't make fun of me. The third one had nothing to do with the series.
I just find that funny. Like, the first movie in the series I watched is the only one that you haven't seen.
Alright, so we're quite the pair. I've seen the first one, and she's seen the second one, so we're going to talk about them, and neither of us is going to know what's happening.
It fits like a glove.
Alright, to be fair, I know what the second one is about. Like, I know it's a continuation. God, and Olivia spoiled it enough, because she's like, you've seen the second one. And I'm like, no, I haven't. Shut up.
Oh my God.
And you've already talked about it, so it doesn't matter if I've seen it or not now. Anyway, I think the first Insidious was one that, for whatever reason, my mom really wanted to see it, so we got it from Redbox, and we sat and watched it together, and, like, I almost didn't want to see it, because that was still around the time where, like, I didn't like doing horror movies. Like, it looked interesting, but, like, I didn't, like, I wanted to watch it on my own time. It wasn't one that, like, you know, I didn't want to be pushed into it, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was one I watched with my mom. And it wasn't nearly as scary as, like, everyone was making it out to be. And it was one, actually...
The first one or the second one?
The first one. I haven't seen the second one.
Okay.
We just talked about this.
I have a great memory, guys.
Oh my God. Anyway. The first one, actually, it's one that, like, I enjoy it, and it's one that, like, I'll watch again, but it's also one that, like, they had a great idea, but they didn't execute it well. But, like, they still, you know, Alright, that's not fair. Like, they didn't execute it bad. They just didn't execute it the way they could have, basically. Stop liking my tweets while we're on the phone.
Why you gotta put me out like that?
Pay attention. Oh my god. You're being so rude to the listeners.
Technically, you're the rude ones for putting me out.
I'm calling you out because how else will you learn?
Never. That's how.
Alright. Since I have no idea when you'll see the first one, I'm just going to explain why I didn't like how they did this. Basically, it's like the house is haunted. Like, you get that right away. And, God, there's a baby involved. I always forget about the baby. But,
Oh my.
nothing happens to the baby. The baby stays safe. But, I think the boys are twins, and, God, there was so much going on in these movies, too. Like, I remember that, like, the house is obviously haunted, and, like, it builds up of that, and then, like, the parents are, like, going through it, like, I don't know, the dad just seems, like, physically unhappy with his life. I'm just like, why are you unhappy? You have this, you know, lovely family. But, anyway, there's too much drama, Jhenee.
So much drama, so many ghosts. So little time.
But it's like, the boy, God, I'm trying to remember what happens. But it's like, he goes into the attic, and he falls and hits his head. Like, he sees something up there, and, like, it spooks him, and he falls and hits his head. And, they put him to bed, which is bad already, because God forbid he has a concussion. But, yeah, but, like the idiots they are, they put him to bed anyway. I remember this movie making me so salty. But, it ends up that, like, even my mom was yelling at the TV. She was like, I can't believe how stupid these people are. I was like, all right, calm down, reel it in. Like, we're good. God, the little boy, they could have done it better. Like, that's all I can say is that they could have done this better. It, he, goes into a coma, and they don't know what's causing the coma. And, the house, the haunting escalates, and then, I don't know, they go through, several nights where, the house seems like it's being broken into, but it's just a bunch of ghosts, and, they finally move houses, but that doesn't help, and it's, I don't know, that the boy is haunted, all these ghosts are trying to possess his body. It was really weird. It was he had this special power that he could astral project himself, and he got it from his dad. They could have done it better. And they could have made it spookier, really. They could have had it that the boy was up and walking around at night when he really wasn't supposed to be. But yeah. 'Cause they have I specifically remember this scene. They have a part where they have the twin sleeping in his own room, and he asks his mom if they could close his brother's door, because he doesn't like that he could see his brother get up and walk around at night. I'm pretty sure that's what he says, but they don't ever build upon that. I was like, that would have been much scarier if dude is trying to sleep in his bed, and he looks up and his brother's just walking around.
God.
His brother who's been in a coma, you know, come on, you guys. But yeah.
Or just standing in his doorway, hey, what's up?
Yeah. He wakes up and dude's just in his room. It's yo, man. Get your happy ass back in your bed. You're in a coma, remember?
just standing over his bed. Hey, I want the cheesecake.
Oh. The demon in that one is really funny, too. That's the one where, it has the stoner Darth Maul guy. The red-faced demon.
Oh my god.
Yeah. God, his scene is so good too. The music they listen to, it's just like that little jingle that plays in the very first SpongeBob episode. God, I don't want to sing it, but I'll play it for you later. It's music that Jacksepticeye listens to, that kind of music sometimes. Like, he'll sing it, like, sometimes in his videos. That bouncy little happy music. You'll know what I mean when I play it for you.
I remember watching the first Insidious because my mom had found it on the net, and I remember it didn't leave quite the same impression on me as because is the first and second are they chronological, or does the second go?
Oh my God. I've already said this, Jhenee. You have the worst memory in the world. Yes, the first one literally leads into the second one.
I have great memory, I promise.
Oh my God.
It's not the things that were told to me 5 minutes ago.
I love her, you guys. Yes. All right, yes, the first and the second Insidious are chronological. The first one happens, it leaves off at the end. The second one starts up a few months later.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I remember, it didn't leave the same impression. Does it have the same director?
I actually don't know. I'll have to look that up. I feel like James Wan does both of them. I know James Wan directs the first one. I don't know if he's just a writer on the second one, though. But, alright, moving on from Insidious. We've spent way too much time on Insidious. I added Annabelle Creation on here, because that has a really good possession. Probably one of the scariest possessions.
It was very unnerving, too.
God, that thing was so tall. Jesus. God, that's starting to be one that I almost can't talk about it because it freaks me out. They had some...
Whenever she's in the room.
That and just the one specifically where it just gets really tall.
Oh my God.
God, so many scenes in that movie though. That was an excellent horror movie. It was so freaky.
It was.
They did a great job. Yeah, definitely better than the first Annabelle. And I'm not bashing the first Annabelle, but if you've watched our Annabelle Creation episode, that's the very first episode.
It was?
Yeah. That was one, yeah. We definitely talked about it extensively. We were all really excited. We had all gone to see it. But yeah, that has a great possession because it's not even one possession. There's two possessions. Because the original little girl and then the next little girl fall victim to the dude who just really likes being latex demons. Joseph Bashara, that's his name. I was gonna say Joe Biden again. I don't know why. God. Oh.
He was too disappointed from having to leave the White House.
Yeah, exactly. He decided he's gonna go out and be a demon, possess little girls.
Obama released him to live his dream as a latex man.
Jesus. But yeah, Annabelle Creation's one with some excellent possessions. I won't dive into that one. Because we already talked about Insidious way too much.
You guys know how we feel about it already.
It makes us salty, and neither of us really knows which Insidious we saw. I mean, I know. Jhenee doesn't know. now she's saying she's seen both of them, but she's really not sure.
I can't be sure anymore.
Oh god, I feel like that's gonna be the title of this episode. Which Insidious did we watch? Alright. So, we're talking about possessions, by the way. I don't know if I really ever said that. I feel like I did. Yes, I did. I went into that. God, don't laugh at me.
Yes.
You be quiet. You don't know what we're talking about. She's just here.
I can't ever be sure.
She's just here for the ride, you guys. Like, she's not even paying attention. She's like, uh-huh. And then she adds a comment, and I'm like, I just said that, Jhenee.
To be fair, that's pretty much me in my daily life.
That's why I had to call you out for being on Twitter. Alright.
I'm being saved.
The Conjuring. I lost my train of thought. Thanks, Jhenee. Alright, The Conjuring has an excellent possession scene. I've already talked about it. It's one of my favorite possession scenes that I've ever seen in a horror movie. It's so creepy. Holy shit. That's one you definitely... I'm talking to you specifically. That's one you need to rewatch. Or one that I'll probably like bring with me when I come to visit. So that we can watch it. Because it does. It has a great possession scene. Like the possession and then like really the exorcism scene is what I'm specifically talking about. Because like they put a sheet over her. And then, it's just so cool. I won't dive too much into it, since we, once again, talked about Insidious way too much. God. And I don't know. I can't stop talking about how much I love the Conjuring movie. I don't know if that makes me basic or not, but, you know, it's an excellent movie. Just like the way it's shot and like I will admit there's like some scenes that like I watch it and I'm just like that is so campy. Like they could have, you know, definitely done some better dialogue in some places, but like overall like the actual haunting of the house and like the ghost itself, like the whole story behind it is just super creepy. And it's, you know, it's sort of a classic kind of haunting too. It's not like anything that's like hasn't been done before. It was just executed better than they've done in the past. But yeah. All right. The ultimate, you know, dealing with any kind of demonic possessions, The Exorcist, which don't you laugh. All right. The Exorcist is a good movie. It really is. It just, you know, it hasn't exactly aged well.
I've never said it was a bad movie.
You sit back down.
I will not be silent.
Oh God. Thank God Olivia's not here. We would just be all over the place. God. But yeah, The Exorcist is... It's another one of those that like they you know they kind of do this the same way where there's no explanation for why the thing happened in the movie, like why she got possessed, other than, you know, they kind of hint at the Ouija board, but they don't really, you know, they don't ever say if she was like misusing it or if like she wasn't, you know, closing it out properly or anything like that. It was just that she just, you know, happened to come across something that she shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Like, they kind of, yeah, they sort of leave that open-ended. And it's actually one of those that it's a movie that seems longer than it is, almost. Like, whenever I watch it, that's what I notice, that, like, it's only, like, I think it's at that 2-hour mark, but it seems like it's, like, a 3-hour movie. But it's not. It just, the way they pace it is really good.
And the girl herself is kind of young, on the youngish side too, isn't she?
Yeah, I think she was... how old was she when she shot it? I think the actress was 14?
Oh, wow.
She was like in that 12 to 14 range. Yeah, she definitely, yeah. Because, you know, she had to act out all the possession stuff, too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
Oh, God. I know, like, it is, like, it's super messed up at, like, how graphic it is, but, like, because I had never seen The Exorcist until I was, like, probably high school or even older. So, like, the only, like, actual, what sticks in my mind the most when I think of The Exorcist is the reference to Scary Movie.
oh, God. See, that's not, yeah. You know, to be fair, I actually haven't, like, really watched any of the Scary movies. Like, I think I've seen, like, bits and pieces of them, but they were never movies that interested me. But I'm like, you know, I'm not into those sort of dirty comedies, though, you know?
Yeah.
Although, really, I think the only one I've seen is the third one. And I think that's, yeah.
Ring.
The Ring and Signs, because I fucking love Signs. And actually, funny thing, the only reason I've seen Scary Movie 3 is because Olivia's dad wanted to watch it. So that's what we sat in there and watched, like in her living room.
Oh my God.
And her brother had to leave because he was terrified of that movie. And he was like, I think he was 10. But like, yeah, no, not understandable. Like, okay, all right. I feel bad laughing at this. He was scared of Michael Jackson. That was the part that scared him, that he couldn't watch. Michael Jackson, and then the one scene where, like, she has the chainsaw and she has it above her head and she's going, Wee! Those two scenes, like, those were the scenes he couldn't watch. I was like, really? He's scared of Michael Jackson? I was like, I could make a joke in here somewhere, but I guess I won't. But, yeah. God.
I mean, I was like, you know, I can relate because, you know, even though it's supposed to be a joke, like, the chick, like, they reference so heavily the chick from The Ring.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
I know, he was scared of Michael Jackson. The word.
Maybe it's just the way they, like, made him so pale and lifeless. God.
Jhenee.
I mean, okay, when she has the chainsaw, like, the lady from The Ring, I can understand that. Like, not even the alien. Well, okay, the aliens aren't really that scary to begin with.
Jhenee, I mean, that's how he looked. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, damn, Jhenee, just drag him. Like, what the hell?
I love me some MJ, okay?
God, Jhenee. She's terrible this episode, you guys. I'm so sorry.
Am I not terrible every episode? You should
God,
be
you are. I mean, you're terrible in general, like when I have to talk to you, but...
I'm glad she does it so you don't have to.
I'm just grateful that you know, take the time to record these with me, since we have to get on the phone.
I'm glad you still want me back every week.
Of course I do. You're my bae. Yes, it's you.
As problematic as I am.
Shit, now I keep thinking about that Michael Jackson scene where he's like, where's my daughter? Where is she? Where's my daughter? I didn't touch her, I swear. God, his voice is the best part, though. He goes, oh, hey.
I didn't touch her, I swear.
How did we get so off? Oh, because of The Exorcist. And you mentioned Scary Movie. I was like, what the hell? Where did we get this from?
Because you mentioned Olivia's brother being afraid of Michael Jackson.
Yeah, jeez. Thomas.
It's a scary movie.
The worst part was her dad. The only reason he wanted to watch Scary Movie was because he knew Thomas was going to freak out, and he wanted to laugh at him freaking out. I was like, God, your dad's an asshole.
Oh my God. I
Grayson, don't look at me. I'm still mad at you.
Grayson, you have no place to judge anyone.
I don't see you seeing any Insidious movies, Grayson. Judging me.
Doesn't even pay taxes.
I know, right? He's just a freeloader. Alright, moving on. Alright, I think that's all. There were so many haunted house movies we didn't really get to touch on. Once again, talked about Insidious way longer than we should have. I don't know why we did that. But, oh, God. I think that's everything. Oh, God. What a trip.
It was certainly a spicy time.
It was a very spicy time. That was a spicy taco. God.
To be honest, at first when you said haunted houses, I thought you meant like actual haunted houses. I was like, Jenny, no.
I mean, a lot of these movies are actually based on like real life haunted houses, you know, but yeah, so anything else you want to say before we leave? You got any closing words?
So about Insidious, I was kidding.
All right, you know what? We're just gonna open up the Insidious discourse really wide.
So, guys, this was our surprise announcement for the Insidious Discourse that we are opening up.
Fuck you.
Please like our Insidious Facebook.
Jesus Christ. Luke, why are you under the couch? We've talked about this.
Oh my God.
God, the cats are... God. Jesus, this episode was a train wreck. Holy shit. The cats, and then, like, we didn't know what movie we were supposed to be talking about. We don't know where we are with Insidious. Like, God.
To be fair, the majority of that was me.
Yeah, I blame you entirely. You're to blame for the cats, specifically.
She knows my secret.
Damn it, now this episode's gonna be called It's Jeannie's Fault. Oh, God. Shit, now... So the one thing about Insidious that I really fucking hate is the music. Like, normally with these movies, like, I love the music they do, but, like, that opening, like, music that they have where it's just like, wah! And I'm just like, there was no need to go that hard.
And, oh, yeah, isn't it, like, really, like, loud?
Yeah. Fuck
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
Joseph
don't
Bashara. Since he not only writes the music...
What movie you came here to see?
He not only writes the music, but he plays the latex demons, so fuck you, Joseph Bashara.
God.
You asshole.
You're listening. Calm down.
You're giving me a heart attack before the movie even starts. Like, come on.
At least warm us up for the latexy goodness.
Wow, okay, so on that note, we're ending the episode. For warm latex goodness, like... This is not a dish that we are serving out, Jeannie. Alright?
Clearly it's one that he's dishing out.
Alright, you know what? Oh my God, this whole episode, that's what it is. It's going to be Insidious Discourse. That's what this episode is going to be called. The worst part is that it wasn't even like a main haunted house like movie we were talking about. It was just like a side thing about possessions. Oh my God. All right.
We said the demon too much.
Stop. We have to end the episode. All right, I hope you guys had fun. Like, I'm so sorry we're such a train wreck.
I'm so sorry. sorry. I don't know what happened, but I'm sorry it happened.
She's not sorry. Alright, we gotta go, because I gotta play the silly little Insidious music for her, so that she knows what I'm talking about. Alright. I really hope you guys enjoyed our horror movie theme month. This was, it was a lot of fun doing these, and, like, finding, all the different horror movies and stuff. Even though, our horror movie supposed expert wasn't present. Although I think I guess I'm more the expert on a lot of these things. Because I have my fun facts, and Olivia's just like, oh, I like that one. Oh, but I didn't like that one. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Your taste isn't that trashy.
This is true. Alright. I hope you guys have a happy Halloween.
Have a good Halloween, y'all.
Yeah, have fun, be safe.
Don't go into no houses.
Yeah, like, don't play with Ouija boards. Don't talk to people who, are floating 3 feet off the ground.
Don't do it.
Don't invite things in. Especially not vampires. They're dirty, disgusting leeches. Don't talk to vampires. God, anything else? Any other Halloween warnings? Oh, get lots of candy, Share with your local skeletons. Wilbur always appreciates some good candy. Alright, we gotta go. I'm sorry. Before we talk about Insidious again, we gotta go. Have a happy Halloween. Alright, say bye, Jhenee.
Have a good Halloween, y'all.
Say goodbye.
Have a good Halloween. Be safe, and remember, candy corn should be frowned upon in every society.
Yeah, candy corn's gross. Alright, goodbye.
Bye, y'all.